with coverage you can count on. Now your First Warn 5 forecast with meteorologist Bryan Bachman.
All right, everyone, good Wednesday evening to you. Happy Christmas Eve as well as we transition toward the Christmas holiday. Well, Mother Nature making us earn it. Let's get you right out to your First Warn 5 pinpoint Doppler radar tonight, live from MBS in 3D. And we'll start you off in the Saginaw area where even the Tri-Cities beginning to find their way into that dividing line between the ongoing heavy rainfall, which you can see falling back towards Zilwaukee, over toward Munger, Bay City, and Essexville, seeing some heavy downpours, as are you in Auburn and Freeland. Head over toward Hemlock, Garfield, St. Charles. You're starting to get at least into that zone where we're seeing a little bit of mixing going on, so that'll contribute to some possibly icy roadways. Radar also starting to indicate a little bit of a drop-off in the temperatures over the thumb, enough to at least suggest that there may be some mixing starting to happen around, say, Bad Axe to Ubley and Argyle, and also up toward the Fillion and Elkton areas, along with whatever moderate to heavy rain is still falling in those areas. One pocket of particularly heavy rain falling over North Branch right now, extending right up to about Kingsmill, Fostoria. You can even see it working its way to the north with that updated radar sweep there. Much of the I-69 corridor east of Flint right now actually getting at least a temporary somewhat reprieve. It's mostly tapering off to some brief lighter rains there, and that includes the city of Flint. And as we head back to the west through Flushing and Juddville, still hanging on to the rain, as are you in Swartz Creek. But you get into Shiawassee County, and you're basically sitting right on that fence in Corunna up toward Chesaning, and then back to the west through Owasso and Henderson, where some of that may even be starting to make that transition over to some snow. Likely seeing some light to moderate snow falling across Pleasantville, back toward the northwest through Mount Pleasant right now, and toward Alma as well. Heading farther north, pretty much the same story up around Gladwin, starting to work your way into the snowy side of things, as are you in Harrisville. Essentially, if you're right along the US 127 corridor right now, you're pretty much in the wintry side of things at this point. Hanging on to the rain, though, as you head through parts of Aranac County up toward, Iosco County there toward Tawa City and Alabaster. But the situation, of course, continuing to change over the next couple of hours. So please be especially careful if you have to do any traveling through the next several hours. We can actually start to see at least a little bit of indication that more snow may be falling in Mount Pleasant. If you look closely on some of the trees there and down into some of those grassy surfaces, it does look like a little bit of a coating is beginning to form, with temps in the low 30s. Weather spotters reporting in. Fred Redaleski in Bangor Township reporting 38 degrees and so far at least 1.15 inches of rain, so that totaling up. Wayne McDonald over in Marlette still staying on the milder side of things at 42 degrees. And as we look to temperatures around the rest of the region, pretty much everyone's starting that drop off at least into the upper 30s or low 40s. Low pressure will continue on its way northeastward through the next several hours and will, of course, facilitate that transition. So here it is on your First Warn 5 hour-by-hour forecast. Heading through the remainder of the evening, just that swap over from rain to icy or snowy precipitation. Could even put down some light coatings in a few locations. I'll show you that in just a second. Then that tapers off to snow showers the first thing Christmas morning. And then we at least get a nice quiet and, more importantly, dry afternoon and a pretty peaceful Christmas night. Snowfall totals in the white band here, generally a 1 to 3 inch possibility with that heavy snow taking over briefly, and somewhere on the order of about 2 to 5, anyone basically north and west of Saginaw Bay through the evening. Temp down to about 32 degrees, rain, of course, changing to snow and becoming very windy. But a quiet Christmas and also a quiet Friday, too, as our temps kind of hover within a few degrees of 40 over the next couple of days.